don't we do the appointment of the acting chief? Why don't we do that? Come on up. Okay, obviously that there's going to be a little bit of lapse in between the chief who is officially retiring this Thursday, and then when the new person is going to start. The official date is January 24th. So in that time, we're going to need somebody to act as chief of police for West Newbury. So Jeff, who is our senior sergeant, has been asked and has accepted that role, and would like just to make it official tonight. And Joe couldn't be here tonight, but he concurs with the decision of picking you and having you do it. So I'd like to make a motion that we appoint Jeff Duran as West Newbury's acting police chief to serve starting January 1st and then end when the new chief officially takes office.
Second.
Any discussion? Can you hang around a little bit tonight?
Yes.
Okay. I wouldn't mind going into executive session and talking about the pay and his duties and stuff like that.
Okay.
Like 5 minutes. We could do that. All right.
So Jeff, you're totally on board with this and everything, or?
Glad to be able to.
Okay.
Good. We're helping. Excellent.
Thank you.
And then he's going to meet. We're going to talk about stuff, and then he's going to meet with Mike B and Mike M tomorrow, just to make get all the logistical things taken care of that we need to take care of to do the duties as the chief. So it's moved. It's been seconded. All discussion been taken care of. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
Right, thank you.
Won't be long. Page school roof repair. You're up. We did this, and we're going to go right back. We're going to go right back down.
Speed of light.
Joe's not coming in tonight, so we've taken some things off that he wanted to have discussions about. His flight was canceled, coming back from his grandkids in Philadelphia, so he couldn't make it.
All right, as you know, we had some leaks on the
Yeah.
parts of the paved roof, and that down on the manufacturer, pointed out things that were wrong, and we did an infrared scan on it to show where the wet spots were, and they come up with a plan to repair it and cost estimates. So we're looking at around just under $15,000 to fix everything. The problem with the whole thing is part of it that it wasn't addressed when they did the green repair program. The front of the kitchen, there's a brick thing that goes up with a concrete slab on the top. That's porous, it's leaking in. So that's what's causing that leak. It really has nothing to do with the way the roof was put on. It just wasn't addressed at the time of the design.
So this has nothing to do with the warranty of the roof that was put on there?
It wasn't, was my question too, yeah.
Probably should have been addressed, and at the time it didn't appear to be a problem apparently, so.
Where are the funds coming from? Funds?
Well, let me finish first.
Okay.
Then there's a couple of other things were taken off, and holes patched, and a couple of pitch pockets that are out of whack. It's unknown exactly, it's gotta be researched and actually who did it. And that doesn't necessarily mean if that was signed off by the OPM, then you can't really do much with that, whoever did that.
So that portion is the new portion you're talking about now?
Yeah. And then there was another part by the above the art room. There was 3 windows in the library that were rotted under the green repair program. And when they put the new roof on, because they have to put extra insulation because of new regulations, the roof was too high, so you couldn't use those windows. So they had to get shorter windows and frame up, and that was done after the roof was done and signed off on. So that's technically not a warranty issue either, because they didn't.
So it's leaking through the windows?
It's leaking not through the windows, but the way they were flashed. roof wraps up and the splash around the windows, that needs to be redone. So that's another area of actually being, so anyway, my proposal is I gotta do the work, because I don't want any further issues, you know, you could get spring mold growing or something, we've gotta try to get it addressed. So I'll just, pay for it out of I still got a little money left in the Page Castle, then I get money in the town improvements account, I can pay for it, and I'll have them divvy it up into sections, so if we can get something from the ones that are responsible, we'll get it after.
Okay.
So if
Just as
I-
long as everything's documented, pictures, whatever you needs to
No,
do.
I got all kinds of reports, and I
Okay.
gave you the, report on the thing.
Archie, you have any questions on it or anything?
No, that's,
Yeah, and this work will be done by, the manufacturer of the roof garland, or an approved contractor by them. So any work that's done on the roof, or any changes that were done, was supposed to have been approved by Garland.
The roof manufacturer.
Yeah, and these
Mhm.
repairs they did after, wasn't, whoever did the windows just did it, or had somebody do it.
Okay.
So that's the way out of
Okay.
that.
so this doesn't, so by monkeying around with it again, we're not voiding the warranty on,
This will bring it up to warranty.
okay.
That's why you gotta use, the guy got me 4 quotes.
Oh, the manufacturer got recommended vendors?
Recommended contractors.
Okay.
Nick Malley, he went up with them, we went up, and they all gave us, they're all close, except one's kinda high, but we won't use that one, but they're all good.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much.
Oh,
Okay.
Gary, can I just ask you one quick question?
Sure.
We all good on our snowplow contracts?
Just about, I get most of them.
So, and that won't be a problem tonight? Are we going out tonight? Probably
I
not?
don't know.
Yeah, it's supposed to turn to rain.
Should be a minimal event.
Okay, I'd like to make do we have to make a motion to open up, or is it just continued, the hearing, to make sure we do it in the proper way?
Just announce that you're continuing.
Yep, okay, I want to announce to continue the hearing, the public hearing about the intersection of Whetstone and Sullivan's Court. Archie, you have anything before I start, or is there any new information? Okay, that's one thing, so let's just talk about, okay?
We had 2 fire trucks come down since we met. One Santa Claus, and one we had a smoke detector that went off up on Whetstone Street. Both were able to make the turn in and out. There wasn't no hook ladder for the regular truck. We were able to come in and out. The cars parked there with no problem.
Okay. You have anything?
Well, the big panel truck was parked inside the 100-foot zone, definitely on Saturday, because I went by and took a look at it.
Yeah, is that coming off the road every night?
Yes.
Because it's not, you can't stay
Not
there.
right now.
Okay, you can't stay there overnight. Okay.
I can't say whether it was there at night, but this was noontime, yeah.
Mhm.
We park over there.
Can I just say something? I was told that the police, Lisa, or Kat, anyway, she said that as long as you're off the road, you can park on Whetstone.
As long as you're on your own land. If you're on your own property, you can park, other than if the Board of Health or the Conservation Commission tells you differently, you can park on your own land. That doesn't go for anywhere else.
That's
Just,
not, I'm just letting you know, I'm
that's fine, so now you have new information and the correct information. So that was a mistake that you were given, so you can't just park on other people's land.
it's not other people's land. Whose land
Is it your land?
is it? No.
Okay, is it the person? I don't even see, I don't want to get into a discussion about whose land it is, what land it is, this land, that land, and whose land. It's best, it's easier to say you're able to park your own vehicles on your own land overnight. It's easier to say it that way, rather than to say, this one's land is this, and you're in this one, in this one, and this one. You're not allowed to park on other people's land that doesn't belong to you, especially overnight, no matter if you're off the road or not. I mean, that's... Okay, so with the recommend, now we want to talk about the footage, about the no parking. I have a little map. You want to talk about it?
Well,
And I have, Joe expressed what he thought about, too.
well, just so that this is a public hearing, so we're, all the selectmen and the abutters, I think we should talk about the meeting.
Okay,
Where we, not this Saturday, the Saturday before, we had the fire department take the ladder truck down Whetstone Street to make the corner, to see if it could make it by the pole, and the driver, who is an exceptionally good driver, felt that 75 feet from the pole up Whetstone Street was an absolute minimum. There couldn't be anything parked within that range, and was more comfortable with 100. That's my take on what he said. Glenn can
No, I would agree with
speak
that.
to that too.
So we are talking about coming down Main Street on Whetstone Street.
From Main Street.
From Main Street, excuse me. From Main Street down Whetstone Street on the right-hand side.
To make a left turn.
To make a left turn, you need 100 feet on the right-hand side to the intersection. This is just so we all understand what we're talking about on that side. Okay. And then coming into Sullivan's Court,
Correct.
that nothing could be parked minimally before the driveways on both sides.
Right.
The driveway,
yes,
you're coming
I know what
into,
you mean.
you take that left, and there's a
The two
driveway here.
driveways on either side of Sullivan's Court.
Nothing
right.
parked into the, and then past Whetstone, which we had no parking before, they did not have an issue with. And 25 feet from here to here, minimally. On the
Up the hill on the
on the
left
inside.
side of Whetstone.
Yeah, on the inside. Okay? Any other questions? Yep.
Comment on it?
Sure, you can comment on it as much as you like, but you need to use a microphone, please.
Where's the microphone?
Up here. Did you have any questions on what we were talking about?
Me?
Yeah. Okay.
The only well, I have a couple of comments. One is in regards to Whetstone and the 75 or 100, what the fellow said to me when the driver, that he thought he needed 75 feet, not
Minimum.
100. Minimum, yeah.
That's what I said.
That's what he
Oh, I
said.
thought you said 100
75.
feet on Whetstone.
Well,
Okay.
He said,
he was
this is
more
exactly what he
desirous
said.
of 100.
What Archie
Yeah.
said was exactly what he said. Minimum of 75, he'd feel happier with 100.
Okay.
That's his exact,
So,
right?
so what I would ask you to take into consideration, if it's 100 feet, you get into the issue of trucks or cars being parked in front of other neighbors' houses, which, I mean, it's legal, but it doesn't make the neighbor happy. I'm
We're
talking about...
on the other side.
I'm talking about the other side of Whetstone. I'm just, the Conley's house. So that you have, once you get to that 100-foot mark, it starts to be a problem for other people. So I'm just suggesting that you consider that in your decision. In terms of the 50, in terms of I think it comes up to 50 feet in front of my house, which is where the driveway is. Typically, there is not cars in front of that house, but my front door is there between the 25 and the 50-foot place. And I guess what I'm saying is my house is built in the 1800s. It's on the street, and there's times when I need to go in and out of the house to unload things. As I get older, I'll probably want to unload at the front. And also, if I happen to have a guest and they happen to park there, it's unlikely, it's not that often, but it does happen on occasion that someone will park in front of that front door. Like I said, it's unlikely. The fire truck can get around. Well, first of all, it's unlikely that there'd be a car there and a fire truck needing to get around at the same time. It's very unlikely. But if that did happen, the fire truck can make it around the corner. It does mean that he has to back up and pull in again. So I guess what I'm asking is consideration that it is much more convenient for me to be able to use my front door, basically, if I need to unload.
If you were unloading, I don't see a problem with that. I think this is all about permanent parking. So if you came home with a thing of groceries and you wanted to unload your car, then pull your car in your own driveway, I don't think there's a problem with that because that's really no parking. You're unloading.
Mm-hmm. But I also am saying that if a guest comes by, I just
Well,
think.
you have this whole thing here that
Glenn.
before there was restriction.
Right, that is good.
And you
but
were
now-
happy with 25 feet here and 25 feet here.
And I'm still happy
Now there
with-
is no restriction here at all.
Right.
That you were advocating for because you said when you have overnight parking and you have guests, they need to park on this street right here.
I'm saying that I need places for my guests to park, and right now it's there's only one car in the family, but there could be more, but that's not the point. I would not permanently park in front of that front door, but a guest might come and pull up in front of the front door and park there, and what I'm saying is, it's just arbitrary.
I don't think they would be doing that if there was no parking sign. I don't think they would do that if there was a no
So
parking sign.
where are you putting the no parking signs then?
And this whole thing here is free.
Well, you could just tell them, don't park
I
there.
could. I'm saying that it's like you're putting in a restriction that really doesn't even need to be there, and for the unlikely event that a truck is going to be there at the same, a fire truck is going to come at the same time of the unlikely
But
time that a car is
That's what
going.
people say when they park in front of a hydrant. Well, what's the chance that we're going to need a hydrant?
That's not what
when
we're.
I'm parking?
That's not what I'm saying.
the way
But-
life
No,
is.
because he can make it around the corner. It's just that he can't make it. His ideal is 75 or 100 feet, and I'm saying that my ideal would be about 35
We
feet.
have gone above and beyond about trying to do this by even meeting all of us on a Saturday. And I don't want to take this gentleman's and the fire chief's hard work of going down there and mess it all around and just say, well, I saw a truck go down there and this. This is now what their recommendations are. And they're far less than what we did before. So as a board, we listened to you guys. And remember, and I forgot this about bringing up the thing, 2 neighbors came at the end and talked to Joe. He wanted me to mention this. And thanked us for doing something in that intersection. One has a wood stove, and he's frightened that his house would be able to get fire service if anything ever happened to it. And another neighbor said they feel a lot safer for that if we do something about that intersection. So there's 2 people that live in that neighborhood that thanked us to try to do something because so they can properly, in the case, it may never happen, and I agree with you, but we can never make decisions when it never happened because when it happens, everybody's going to come looking at us if somebody died or if somebody got burnt and said, why didn't you do something about a situation you knew full well could happen?
Well,
So that's it. So
can I just say a few things now?
if you have anything new,
Yeah, I do, 'cause
that's
you-
great because we've hashed the same things over and over.
Right, and I
just
do
wanna
have
reiterate
something-
that we've been very reasonable, and we listened, and we're shrinking it down considerably than what we did, what the first recommendation was.
Well, okay, so you're saying that, so just from a resident of West Newbury and what I experienced, if you want to look from the beginning was that you all made a decision without notifying the abutters at all that you were going to have this discussion, that you were going to put 100-foot restrictions on all corners, which everybody agrees ended up affecting us. But we were never notified, and we were being drastically affected by it. That's number 1. Number 2, the next thing that happened was you notified us by a letter that it was going to happen, but you had already made the decision. Number 3, you put up 12 to 13 no parking signs all down there, and it looked terrible, it was awful, and everybody agreed that it was overkill. So if I felt disrespected, on top of that the whole neighborhood is being changed because of the different developments that are going on, I'm sorry that I felt offended that you didn't take the time to consult with us what it was going to mean to us.
Ma'am?
And so, but when you say that you went, let me finish, Glenn. You said you went.
We apologize.
But you're
for that.
sitting there telling me.
We took the proper measures that we were supposed to do to have a public hearing. We apologized We apologized to you for not getting you involved, and then we went down and got you involved. I don't understand how much you want us more to do. So I'm ending this because I don't want it. Now it's getting confrontational again, like it did down on your street, and there's no need for it.
Well, the need is that if you respected us, if you had respected us in the beginning and not just you. Okay, I accept your apology, but you sat here just now and made it sound like that you did all this stuff, and that we should appreciate it. We did it after the fact.
We apologized
after the
and
fact.
went down there.
After.
I don't know what else you want us to do. Honestly, I don't know what. We did something. We realized it was wrong. We apologized, and now we're trying to fix it.
I didn't really hear an apology.
If you can't take that, I have no clue what else to do as a selectman or even a human being. So forget it, because I can't believe we're still doing this. Honestly.
I can, because I've been up here 3 times.
Okay.
3 times discussing it.
Time out. We're just doing, we're not the experts. I wish you'd stop saying that we're doing it. We're doing what the fire protection people are telling us to do. You saw them, you heard what he had to say. This is everybody has slight inconveniences in life, but in terms of the potential that someone that the fire truck can make it a minute faster or whatever, or 30 seconds faster, that's what fire trucks do. That's why people pull over when the fire truck goes by, because every second counts. We're doing what the fire department is telling us. We're not doing this to be whimsically annoying. We're doing it because that's what they said.
He also said, they also said that it was, if they have a complaint, they have to address it, that there's lots of streets in West Newbury that would fall into the same situation as our street. Anyway, I have nothing else to say.
Anything else before we close the public hearing? Mr. LaSala?
I have 1 point, 2 points.
Sure.
Just to pick up where Deb left off. I understand about the intersection with the fire trucks and everything, but I've asked a number of times, if it's our street, why aren't we doing this completely for the whole town? As far as a safety concern, if there's a safety concern on Whetstone Street and Solomon Square, then I'll bet you if you go right across the street to Prospect Street and Steed Ave, there's a problem there. And if you look all through town, why don't we just do it completely as a safety issue? Not just, looks like you're just going after one area, that you're gonna run into this problem someplace else. And that 1 or 2 minutes that Dave brought up could affect someplace else. So why don't we do a complete study of the town?
I feel very confident that our police force and fire department, if they felt there was any problems that they could not respond to an emergency in any place else in the town, that they would bring it to us and we would address the issue. And I will reiterate those concerns to them both, and ask them if they have any other problems in town, please bring them forward to the Board of Selectmen.
I think you make a good point.
And that's fair. So we're going to do it.
That's a totally fair comment, yeah.
And that's a fair response. We're going to bring it up to them, and we'll take care of it, okay?
Because I asked the fire chief, he says, we don't normally go out looking at areas. I said, don't you think you should? Since you've already started looking at one area, you should take a canvas of all the areas? He said, yeah, maybe we should, but for a safety concern and come down the road and it happens, I hate to be the one that said, I told you so, you should have looked at it.
Well, your point is well taken.
And we'll ask them. And did you have another point?
In a second, are we posting signs back up there, or?
We're not sure yet, but hopefully not.
Because I will definitely tell anyone that parks in our areas.
No, there'll be some signs. There has to be some signs by law, because if there is no signs, that means we can't give tickets. So there will be signs, but we're not going to put the abundance of signs up.
Are we going to be notified where you're going to put them before you put them up?
I don't know.
Hopefully we can just, as we talked about before, just use the pole.
That's what we got to do that.
We're hoping to
Just use the telephone pole.
Yep.
Not a Not any new poles.
We don't need all those
Yeah.
other,
We're hoping to do that, but there might be a legal thing that we can't, but that's what we're hoping for.
I'll fight for that.
okay, because I
No,
don't,
I mean, that's fair.
I don't have to
Okay.
come back and go through this all over again.
Oh,
I just-
no, we're not going to.
No,
No, we're not doing it.
Yeah.
This ain't happening again. So that's why we've taken so long, and we've gone through everything, because we said, we're sorry, and it was a lesson learned that we just can't go through the legal things that we're supposed to do. We need to physically reach out to the neighbors and make sure if something like this is going to happen, that we formally notify them, just not put it into the paper, because not many people get the papers anymore like they used to. So I think that's an antiquated way of notifying the public, personally. So we need to really go out and tell the neighbors. Because we did everything that we were supposed to do, but we should have done more, because who reads the paper anymore?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We agree.
Okay, so just take some real consideration about putting those signs up.
I agree.
You know, it gives us
we
real,
will. It looked,
that really looked,
I
it
understand.
looked
You know what I
great,
mean?
it looked crazy.
we
well,
agree.
42 years living here, to have signs all over my property was outrageous.
We agree. And we have the poles right there, so it
Yeah.
helps.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to make a motion that it's 100 feet from the intersection on Whetstone Street on the east side?
Heading,
East. That's the east, going towards Newburyport's east. This side.
yeah, but that would be west. Heading west from the pole. Up the hill would be west.
The east side of the street. I'm not
Oh,
talking
okay.
about west, yeah. The east side of the street, or going down at the right side, however we
Okay,
can document it.
The east side of the street, yeah.
Yeah, it's the east side of the street, right? Okay, east side. East side, 100 feet. West side of Whetstone from the corner, 25 feet. And then whatever the footage is,
To the driveway.
to both driveways on Sullivan's Court on both sides from the intersection. Okay?
Yes,
That's a motion. All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Okay, and that's a little bit less than what Joe wanted. That's less than what the other selectmen wanted, so that's even, he would have been here to fight for even more. We'll notify you, and we'll come down there and we'll show you. One of us will represent the selectmen when we do it.
No neon.
No. Make a motion to go in, no. Correspondence accepted as read?
Second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. Make a motion to accept the payroll and the
Warrants,
warrants?
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Aye. I'm going to just exempt myself from the payroll of my son. Can I do that? I vote for everybody else? Or then my son won't get paid. I'm just going to put a letter in. I already have a letter in anyways, but Joe's not here. That's the
Just
problem.
invoke the rule of necessity.
I invoke the rule of necessity on this one occasion so everybody can get paid and the warrants can go out. Okay? Okay, make a motion to go in executive session
Second,
for contractual negotiation with the acting chief. All in favor?
aye.
Aye.